In the busy city of Lagos, where dreams rise as fast as the skyscrapers and fall just as quickly, lived a young woman named Amara. Amara was the first daughter of a poor family in a small rented apartment in Agege. Her father was late, and her mother sold roasted corn by the roadside to feed the family. Despite their struggles, Amara was brilliant. She graduated from the university with good grades, full of hope that she would soon lift her family out of poverty. But Lagos was not kind. Every morning, she dressed in her only corporate skirt and blouse, carefully ironed, and carried her brown envelope containing her CV. From Victoria Island to Ikeja, from Surulere to Lekki, she submitted applications to countless companies. Some collected her CV without looking at her face. Some promised to call her. Many never did. Weeks turned into months. Months turned into years. Each rejection letter felt heavier than the last. On her way to the bus stop each day, she always passed the same old beggar sitting under a dusty almond tree. His clothes were torn, his beard rough and unkempt. People hurried past him, pretending not to see him. But Amara always stopped. Even when she had only transport fare left in her purse, she would remove a small amount and place it in his shaking hands. "God bless you, my daughter," the beggar would say in a calm, deep voice that somehow did not match his appearance. She would smile and reply, "Sir, please pray for me. I am looking for a job." The old man would look at her carefully and nod. "Your kindness will open doors for you." Amara never took the word seriously. To her, he was just a helpless old man. Then one day, the beggar was gone. She looked around. The dusty mat he usually sat on was not there. The almond tree stood alone. She felt a little worried but shrugged it off. Maybe he had found another spot. Life continued. Her savings finished. Her shoes began to wear out. Neighbors started whispering, "A graduate that cannot find work." One evening, after another disappointing interview, Amara sat on her bed and cried quietly. She thought of giving up. She thought of settling for anything, but something inside her refused to die. "I will not give up," she whispered to herself. Days passed. Weeks passed. Then one hot afternoon, a shiny black luxury car drove into her street and stopped in front of their house. The car was too expensive for the neighborhood. Children gathered around it in excitement. A well-dressed young boy stepped out and knocked on their door. Amara opened it. "Good afternoon, ma," the boy said politely. "Someone important is asking for you outside." "For me?" she asked, confused. She stepped outside. Standing beside the car was a tall, handsome man dressed in an elegant suit. His wristwatch glittered under the sun. His shoes alone looked like they could pay a year's rent. Amara searched her memory. She had never seen him before. "Good afternoon," the man said with a gentle smile.
"Good afternoon, sir," she replied nervously. He studied her face. "You don't recognize me, do you?" She shook her head slowly. The man chuckled softly. "I am the beggar you used to help on your way to the bus stop." Amara's heart skipped. It couldn't be. The voice, it was the same deep, calm voice. Her mouth fell open in shock as the well-dressed man reached into his briefcase and pulled out a sealed envelope. "My name is Chief Adewale," he continued, "and I have been watching you for a long time." He stretched the envelope toward her. Inside was an appointment letter for a position at Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. Amara's hands began to tremble. Was this a dream? Little did she know, this was only the beginning of a story that would change her life forever. Amara stood frozen, staring at the appointment letter from Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation. Her eyes moved from the official logo back to the elegant man standing before her. I don't understand," she whispered. Chief Adewale smiled gently. "You deserve to understand everything." They moved inside the small sitting room. Her mother watched silently, confused but respectful. The shiny car outside had already attracted half the neighborhood. Chief Adewale cleared his throat. "Yes, I was the beggar you used to help every day, but I was never truly a beggar." He explained that he was a billionaire businessman who owned one of the largest private companies in Nigeria. Years ago, he had married his first wife, a humble and loving woman who stood by him when he had nothing. She loved him deeply, not for wealth, but for who he was. But after he became successful, he made a mistake. He married a second wife. The second wife was beautiful, he said quietly, but her heart was filled with greed. As his wealth increased, so did her hunger for power. She wanted full control of his properties and businesses. Eventually, she began plotting against him. Through trusted friends, he discovered that she had planned to poison him and take everything. Shaken and heartbroken, he divorced her immediately. "But the experience changed me," he continued. "I began to question people's intentions. I wondered if true kindness still existed. So he made a strange decision. He disguised himself as a beggar. For months, he sat by different roads across Lagos, observing people. Many insulted him, some ignored him. A few threw coins at him carelessly. But you," he said, looking at Amara, "you always looked at me with respect. Even when you had little, you still gave." Tears formed in Amara's eyes. "I noticed your struggles. I followed your journey. I made inquiries about you. Your records are clean. Your heart is pure." He pointed at the envelope. "The job is real. You start next month." Amara covered her mouth in disbelief. Her mother began to cry softly, thanking God. Then Chief Adewale took a deep breath. "There is something more." Amara's heart began to race again. "I have searched for a woman with a good heart," he said. "Not one who loves money, not one who loves status. A woman who shows kindness when no one is watching." He looked directly into her eyes. "Amara, will you marry me?" The room became silent. Her mother gasped. Amara felt her world spinning. "Sir, I am not your type," she said quickly. "You are wealthy. You are respected. I am just a struggling girl from a poor family." Chief Adewale shook his head. "You are exactly my type." She asked for time to think. Days passed. He visited respectfully, never pressuring her. He spoke kindly to her mother. He showed consistency and humility despite his wealth. Slowly, Amara's fear faded. She realized that he had seen her at her lowest and still chose her. Finally, she agreed. Their wedding was beautiful but dignified, not noisy, not extravagant, just meaningful. Neighbors who once whispered in mockery now celebrated her. Amara resumed work at Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation, where she proved herself diligent and intelligent. Her colleagues respected her professionalism, unaware of her extraordinary story. Chief Adewale continued managing his vast company empire. Despite being a billionaire, he remained humble. a lesson he had learned from sitting by the roadside in disguise. Soon after, they relocated to Abuja, where they bought a grand home. Amara ensured her mother moved in with them, no longer selling roasted corn under the hot sun. From rejection to restoration, from poverty to purpose, from kindness to royalty. And in the end, Amara understood something powerful. Sometimes, the blessings we are praying for are watching how we treat people when we think no one important is looking.